Thank you, David, as always. What a joy it is to be here this morning with each of you. I'm Kathie Libby. I'll be your platform assistant. And we have with us, just very honored to have with us today, Sue Choy. And of all things, she's here from Hawaii. And it is just about 5 o'clock in the morning in Hawaii. So I'm not sure how much joy you're feeling at the moment at 5 in the morning, but we are so pleased to have you. Thank you. And Susan is a licensed Unity teacher and a ministerial candidate in the Unity National School of the Pacific Rim. And prior to that, she was in English and ESL and communications departments of colleges in Minnesota and Maryland and Florida. So you've traveled a little bit. And she's a certified instructor in yogic, qigong, and meditative arts. And I believe you will bring all of that wonderful spiritual base to us today. And we're just thrilled to have you with us. Thank you. And of course, our beloved David Kane on special music. And we are particularly honored this morning because his wife, Cynthia, will be joining him on violin. So that's going to be just lovely. Thank you both. As we move forward, a centering prayer. While happiness happens only during good circumstances, joy is possible in every circumstance. Joy is based on a relationship with God, which is reliable in every situation. Prayer is the way to find joy in difficult circumstances. By intentionally praying for joy, we can change our mindset to focus on spirit, the source of our hope and our help. Spirit will meet us where we are and bring joy to our soul, no matter what.
Thank you so much for that beautiful music. I feel like I'm right in the kingdom where I belong, where we all belong. Good morning, everyone. My name, as has been introduced, is Choy, Susan Choy, and I send you warm aloha from the beautiful island of Oahu in Hawaii. I'm honored and delighted to be here with you today, especially to share this very important topic. I once had a friend, Ronnie Shapiro, who, upon retiring from his very demanding job as a New York City tax attorney, decided he wanted to go to Tibet to become enlightened. He had already done many things in his life, practically everything. He had traveled the world, met people from all walks of life, been married and divorced many times, and fathered 4 children who were all grown and settled. Now, all he wanted to do was find the true meaning of life. So he traveled to one of the most well-known retreat centers in the world, Drak Yerba, located in the mountains of Tibet. The retreat center, built in the 7th century, consisted of a sacred monastery and over 300 meditation caves or dwellings where notable monks such as Guru Rinpoche and Atisha, the great Buddhist master, had achieved enlightenment. So he figured his chances were as great as his desire, and success was ensured. When he got there, he met up with a master who taught a special meditation technique, which he was told to practice 3 times a day for a year, long time. He was also told that he had to commit to total silence during that year, sleeping on the floor with the other seekers and eating only the vegetarian food grown there on the grounds of the monastery. After a year had passed, he would meet again with the master to assess his progress. So that's what he did. And when he met with the master asked him quite simply, in 2 words, tell me the essence of your experience here. Ronnie thought a bit and then said, hard bed. The master said, go back into meditation and we will meet again in 2 years. So Ronnie did what he was told because he was still determined to become enlightened and went back into silent meditation for 2 whole years. After those 2 years had passed, the master called him out of his deep silent meditation to meet with him again. And the master asked him again, in 2 words, tell me the essence of your experience here. Ronnie considered the question seriously, thoughtfully, and then responded, bad food. The master said, you've been here for 3 years and all you do is complain. Go back to New York. So that was the end of poor Ronnie's quest for enlightenment. Wasn't successful after all. So you might consider this a humorous little tale to remind us not to complain, because no one likes to be around a complainer, right? We all know that. But is it that simple? Complaining, I've noticed lately in the news and elsewhere, seems to be ingrained and even encouraged in our society, in our Western culture, with complaint departments burgeoning everywhere, and complaints even turning to a lot of bitter, long, drawn-out litigation, which affects every level of our family, community, and national, global well-being. Complaining is a contagion. So what's at the root of it, and why do we tolerate it, especially in ourselves, to ourselves? The more I thought about it, the more I was convinced that complaining, the verbal expression of a negative mind state, is much more than just a declaration of dissatisfaction. It's much more than just an annoying social behavior. In fact, it speaks to our spiritual identity, something in Unity we're very concerned about. It speaks to our understanding of who we are. It speaks to our acceptance, or in this case of complaining and negativity in general, denial of our divine identity. Complaining actually reveals the state of our relationship with God. When we complain, we demonstrate that we believe we are separate from God. A good friend of mine who recently entered marriage counseling confessed to me that from her husband's perspective, the greatest problem facing their marriage was her constant complaining. That's what he said. And she was shocked to learn that, because from her perspective, she was only giving him helpful feedback designed to correct and improve. She thought the feedback made both of their lives better. And I laughed out loud when she shared this with me, because truthfully, my husband has also told me many times that I complain a lot. Ouch, I don't like hearing that. But like my friend, I used to consider my complaints to be just constructive feedback, always aimed at helping. But giving this issue a lot more thought, I realized that the message I'm sending to my Creator and to the creation about His holiest of creations, about us, is one of extreme dissatisfaction. My complaints are coming from a place of deprivation. When I complain, I'm saying I'm deprived. And the only response worthy of a holy child of God is appreciation and honor and deep gratitude. And because showing honor and showing appreciation and joy brings us right into the kingdom where we belong. So is it possible that you too are a complainer? Maybe a closet complainer? Do you grumble to yourself when you think no one is listening? Believing your complaints don't matter because no one can hear them? But you can. And maybe the poor dog or cat who can hear everything, right? Maybe you complain about the way your spouse or your partner leaves his towels on the bathroom floor, or the way the older woman in front of you was driving only 25 miles per hour along a 55-mile-per-hour highway, or how it took the overwhelmed waiter a solid 20 minutes to ask you for your order, and then when he finally brought you your meal, forgot your French fries? Oh my goodness, the nerve. Are you like my friend Ronnie Shapiro, who notices mostly what's wrong instead of what's right, and concludes bad food, hard bed, bad place, or maybe you say terrible traffic, poor customer service, or insufferably hot weather, just can't stand it anymore. Bad, bad, bad. Everything's going down. So I want you to just think for a moment, what do you think is the effect of all this complaining, since we are all connected and we're all one? And especially if we remember our third unity principle, that our thoughts create our reality. Our thoughts, not just our spoken words. Uh-oh. We might be in some trouble here. Physiologically, a single complaint increases levels of cortisol, which are the stress hormones, And chronically high level of stress hormones could lead to depression, digestive issues, sleep disturbances, high blood pressure, and the list goes on and on and on. The point is that by complaining, even the tiniest little complaints that you think no one notices, when you do that, when we do that, we are rewiring our brains, and not in a good way. And you're rewiring other people's brains too, without their permission, which is why it's so unpleasant to be around a complainer. Brené Brown, perhaps you've heard of her, well-known researcher in sociology and author of many spiritual books. In her book that I really enjoyed reading recently, called Dare to Lead, cites John Gottman's research on intimate relationships over 40 years. He was able to pinpoint an outcome of divorce, with 90% accuracy based on a series of responses to a series of questions. He called his results the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Ooh, I think he meant to frighten us into good behavior. Those 4 horsemen are, as you might have guessed, complaining or criticism, defensiveness, stonewalling or withdrawing. We've all given our favorite people the silent treatment. It never works, does it? And finally, contempt. Contempt being the worst complaint of all. So a single complaint, which may embody all of those, is most destructive of all relationships and unintentionally creates the result of separation. And because we're not just physical, but spiritual, energetic beings, each one of these is highly contagious. The principle of oneness means that everyone, everywhere, is affected by our thoughts plus emotions, and we are responsible for everyone. So I encourage you to be vigilant and diligent against complaining, even silent complaining, because it's negative prayer. The Bible tells us, ask and you shall be given. And why is that so? Because we have already been given everything. The truth is, God has given us everything. And when we complain, we deny this truth. So why not express joy instead? Joy is also contagious, infectious, and can spread quickly to uplift everyone and change the world. I remember when I was studying yoga with my guru, when he first saw me in the morning for our practice, he would bow to me with folded hands, most sincerely and devotedly, saying, Namaskaram. And this simple greeting brought me so much joy because I knew that Namaskaram means I bow to the divine in you. And he regarded me as one of the holiest of God's creatures. I always love this custom because by taking time to bow to others, I can grasp their true essence, the way that person is right now, not in the past or how I might imagine him in the future. All my possible judgments about this person dissolve as I take time to acknowledge the brilliant source of creation shining in them, in you. So seeing the divine light in others is a sure way to create and share joy with everyone. So I bow to you now and say Namaskaram. And perhaps you want to take a moment to bow to one another and say Namaskaram. I see the divine light in you. On to another story. Out of sheer necessity, not because I like shopping, because I don't. I spent this past Labor Day, not too long ago, shopping for a new vacuum cleaner. How exciting, right? I expected to go to the store and find 3 or 4 models from which to choose. But instead, I found 2 whole aisles overflowing with all the latest models. High performance swivel vacuums with pet odor eater tools that came with 10-inch telescopic wands with dual cyclone technology, and cordless vacuums with laser illumination programmed to optimize suction and reveal microscopic dust. And my favorite was a round robotic vacuum that doesn't even need you to vacuum. It just vacuums the carpet by itself. And once that little roaming vehicle is full, it automatically, very sweetly, returns to its charging base and deposits the debris from your rug into a dust-free disposable bag. How convenient. And what's more, there's an app for it. There's an app for your vacuum, and it responds to your voice. So you might not know it, but I'm vacuuming my house right now. Only kidding. But the truth is, I'm just pointing out that we have more conveniences and comforts and luxuries than we've ever had before, all designed to ensure our happiness, our joy, and our well-being. And also, these appliances exist to ensure we have plenty of time in which to pursue our true desires. And maybe those are spiritual ones. But just take a moment to think about it. Did your grandparents or your great-grandparents enjoy such luxuries? Well, I remember my great-grandmother from Ireland washing our laundry in a big bin with a washboard. I don't know if any of you remember that, by hand, and then hanging all the clothes out to dry in the backyard. So her house cleaning and her cooking took up her whole day. I don't think she had much time for other spiritual pursuits, although others might argue that those were her spiritual pursuits. You know, and I never heard her complain, not once. She always had a smile on her face for me. So my point is, we have so much now, more than ever before. We live like royalty, yet we seem to complain perhaps a little bit more than ever before. If we ever asked our grandkids what they had to complain about, you know what they'd say. I didn't get my smartphone until the 3rd grade. Imagine such suffering. The truth is, it's amazing. It's wonderful to have so much comfort and convenience. But it's also true that a deep, abiding sense of ease and joy are not dictated by external circumstances. True comfort, true ease, deep joy arise from within, from knowing who we are, from realizing our divinity, and from communing with it and expressing it. So we must try to get to a place that no matter what the circumstances are, no matter how seemingly unpleasant, we are at ease because we have been given everything. We are in joy. My yoga teacher now, Sadhguru, perhaps you've heard of him, also spoke recently to me about the great spiritual master Lao Tzu. Lao Tzu's students often asked him, why are you so happy all the time? Why are you so joyous? You've been through so many trials, so much suffering, yet you're always joyful. How is that possible? And Lao Tzu said, every morning when I wake up, I realize I have a choice. I have an important decision to make. Should I be miserable or should I be joyful? I get to choose. And then being joyful is simple. So I ask all of you gathered here today, can you be joyful in this moment, right now? I think so. And then can you create another joyful moment just like this one? And maybe another one and another one. If you know how to make this moment joyful, you can make your whole life joyful, even though it might not be unfolding exactly the way you want. So what? Trust me, choose joy now. Make it a conscious choice, and numerous experiences of joy will begin to unfold in your life in ways you might never have imagined. Namaskaram to all of you. Thank you. And I invite you now into a quiet time of meditation. If you'd like, if it's your practice, you may close your eyes or perhaps simply bow your head. Begin by softening your foreheads, relaxing the corners of your eyes. Soften the eyes themselves and feel them relax deeply. Soften your cheeks and release the jaw. Let the jaw hang open. Soften the muscles of the neck and throat. And drop your shoulders down away from the ears. Begin to notice your gentle breath. Notice your own natural rhythmic flow and relax into it. Feel the whole body relaxing now. And as the body relaxes, feel your mind opening like a beautiful tree in autumn. All its colors vivid and blooming. Tune in to your inner magnificence. Continue to observe your breath. And after the next exhale, take a deep breath and hold your breath briefly. And exhale very slowly, allowing the breath to flow back down to lower lungs. And breathe naturally again. And feel. And notice everything. Notice aliveness in you, which is joy. And claim joy for yourself now by saying to yourself, I am joy. I am joy. And after the next exhale, again, inhale to maximum capacity and hold your breath. And then slowly release it. And as you let it go, release everything that is not joy, that is not peace, that is not love. And feel only peace, love, and joy. And breathe all of these throughout the entire body mind. And proclaim your wholeness and healing now. And to yourself, say, I am whole, I am happy, I am complete. I am whole, I am happy, I am complete. And return to just witnessing the breath now. Invite it to slow down. So it feels as if you're barely breathing at all. And in your mind's eye, take time to remember, to visualize a joyful moment in your life. Perhaps it was with someone you love. Perhaps you were doing something you love. But remember this scene of joy in vivid detail. Imagine how it felt. Remember how it felt to be so joyful. And then allow that scene of joy to dissipate, but continue to feel the joy inside. And let that joy radiate throughout your being. Feel that joy extending beyond the body. And know yourself as a great source of joy, independent of any circumstance. You are the messenger of joy. You are the source of joy. You are the kingdom of joy. And take your time now, still connected to this deep, abiding sense of joy and peace and love. But take your time when you're ready, slowly coming back to the physical body. Perhaps lifting the corners of your mouth in a grateful smile, knowing you are blessed eternally. And when you're ready, you may open your arms. And so it is, and we let it be. Amen.
thanks again to each of you. It's been a lovely service together, as it always is. Before we do our closing songs, I have one short closing prayer. Spirit, remind us that the joy we will experience today comes from you. Remind us that the circumstances we experience this day and any day cannot rob us of a sense of celebration and joy, unless we allow it. May we be joyous, may we be a joyous blessing to others, and may we give all the praise to you. And so it is.
We are so blessed here at Unity Center DC for extraordinary speakers, talented musicians who share with us each week their God gift, their message, their inspiration. And for us as recipients, I'd like you to take this moment and be grateful. If you want to express your gratitude by giving a gift to Unity Center DC, it's possible. We'll put up on the screen the options, but you can give online, you can mail a cash or a check to the address you'll see on the screen, so that we can continue this ministry, which has blessed us all. Thank you.